And I already made a thumbnail, so I'm going to put it on here right now.
Look at you.
Boop, 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 boop. All right. Let that save. Yes, it did. Let's do it.
All right.
Hello and welcome back to the Pixel Street Podcast. This is episode 231 of the show, where each and every week myself, Joel Campos, and John Hanson get together and talk about video games. This week we have kind of more news than we've had recently. I'd say yes and no,
Yeah.
hit more or less, I guess.
We're
Um,
we're at the point in the year where we're not going to get a lot. We had the PlayStation showcase yesterday, which is going to be a large majority of what we got today. But May is always a dead time of the year because usually people are saving up for their showcases and E3 whenever that happened in the past. So,
yeah, so today the main thing we're going to talk about is the PlayStation showcase that happened yesterday. But before we talk about that, let's get some housekeeping out of the way. You can follow us on Twitter at Pixel Street. Check out the pin tweet there where you can find all of our links to social media stuff, including a invite link to our Discord server. Come join us and talk about game. Why do I look like a cartoon character?
what what do you mean?
I don't know. I feel like my camera's doing weird shit today, and I don't like it.
Oh,
My
okay.
skin looks too smooth in this camera. I don't know why.
Oh, isn't that a good thing?
I guess. I don't know. I did just shower. But yeah. Uh join us on Discord and tell me how smooth your skin looks today. Um Also, you could follow us by subscribing on YouTube, youtube.com/Pixel Street Videos. That's where you can find all of our podcasts live, Let's Plays we're recording, all that fun stuff, unboxings. John makes some videos about unboxing a Charizard statue. Yeah, so come hang out anywhere you can find us on the internet. John, let's just talk about the PlayStation Showcase. I want to hear your overall initial thoughts. Like, I don't want to go into specifics about games yet. I just
Just
want to hear
overall,
overall, how do you feel about this showcase?
I thought it was underwhelming. Maybe not underwhelming, but it wasn't over. It was whelming. You know what I mean? Like it was
It
just okay.
Yeah, so in my mind, I feel like Sony and PlayStation have really kind of set a bar for what a PlayStation showcase is versus a PlayStation State of Play.
Hmm.
And they're advertising this as a PlayStation showcase, which would make you think, this is as big as when they revealed Wolverine, right? When
Hmm.
which was the last one I think they did last year.
Yeah,
Um and that was a huge deal, right? And so people everybody online was thinking like, okay, we're gonna see Last of Us factions, maybe. We're gonna see Ghost of Tsushima 2. We're gonna see, obviously more Spider-Man 2 because that game's
that's
we
their
all
one
know is
biggie.
coming out this year.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, I feel like this PlayStation showcase. I feel like this PlayStation showcase really did not live up to the hype of what a PlayStation showcase is or has been, and I feel like this kind of hurts Sony in a way that I don't know, like a PlayStation showcase right now in my head and a PlayStation State of Play like before yesterday, those were they had two very different meanings. And now after yesterday, it kind of shows us like, oh, those are essentially the same thing. At least right now, that's what it looks like.
it really shows us just. It really seems that the first half of 2023, like everyone looks at this year, not just PlayStation, but everywhere, every console and PC, they're like, this is a massive year for games. We're seeing this again, that this year is incredibly front loaded and the back half does not have a lot at all, because what did they show off yesterday? Like, they were going through games. There was a lot of games, and I wouldn't say any of them look bad by any means, but there's a ton of those games that like had no release date, like barely any gameplay shown or anything. It
I can't believe that they didn't give Spider-Man a release date.
Yeah, they just said fall. Like,
Yeah.
that's your big game, and we don't really have it. I mean, fall could be anything. It could be November, October, even September. So it's yeah, I was a little let down by it. I think I don't know, man. I don't know what the thinking is behind putting out a show like this and hyping it up to be such like a big deal. Like, this is our big summer showcase. This is the thing, and then you give us like nothing from PlayStation Studios. Like, yeah, there was more besides Spider-Man there, but like, what was Fair Games? I think it's called, the game that they started off with. I'm like, I'm watching this. I'm like, so it's a game that's like Payday. Okay,
Yeah,
like
I think a lot of the new stuff that they showed in my mind is it doesn't I'm not saying it's not for everybody. I'm saying that they're not really for me. Like a game like that, I don't think is really for me, just because it looked too much like a Watch Dogs Payday hybrid. And like I loved Payday, for a while with friends, but that game grew old to me pretty quick, just because of how repetitive it was. But yeah, I mean that's not necessarily a bad thing. They just
no,
don't look like those monster, AAA, quadruple A games that people are wanting from a first party studio.
there was definitely a theme here where you can tell that Sony is going in on their recent words that they want more live service games. The problem is that none of these live service games really did it for me. Like, there wasn't really anything there. I was like, oh, I have to play that right away. I'm more like, okay, if that's one of their like monthly games, I'll play it for a little bit, see if I like it. There was nothing here that I was like, yeah, no, that multiplayer game I am playing day one for sure.
The other thing too is like Xbox tweeted immediately after this showcase, like, man, can't wait to play these games coming to Xbox. And it was literally 12 of the games shown in the
Mhm.
PlayStation showcase yesterday, which is, pretty telling for, what they had at their show. But John, let's
Especially real quick, especially considering how much PlayStation likes to nail down the console exclusive, the limited time exclusive, and how much, like, even games that aren't exclusive, they will purposely market it to make it look like it's only coming to PlayStation. When they showed Metal Gear, who here actually thought that that was coming to Xbox? Like, the way that they were talking about it, I was like, oh, okay, that's a PlayStation exclusive.
Th Same with Marathon. They showed Marathon
Yeah.
and it just had the PlayStation logo. We didn't find out till later that it was coming to Xbox. But
Hmm.
yeah, let's go through kind of some of the standouts that you had. Obviously, Spider-Man 2. That's what
Yeah.
they ended the show with. I thought they were going to start the show with it, just because like I I think everybody knew that it was going to be there, so it would have made sense to start with it. I think, but they kind of went deep into it. It was a few minutes long where they kind of showed some
It was
gameplay,
like
some story beats.
It was like 10 minutes long. It was pretty chunky. Yeah, I was impressed. It looks very good. And obviously, I love Insomniac. The Spider-Man games they've done already are great. We knew that we were going to enjoy this game whenever it came out, but I was surprised to see that they were going off the bat right away with Peter in the black suit, the symbiote suit. I was like, "Oh, okay." Like, I think once we found out last year, or maybe 2 years ago now, that Venom was in this game, we pretty much assumed that that was going to happen at some point. But like, they're just going straight in on it, so I
Yeah,
was like
that kind of
surprised.
tells me that that's going to happen early on in the game, I'd
Yeah,
imagine, and then that's the overarching story, right?
yeah,
Everybody knows the
because
Venom story.
you can already tell that Miles is like, oh, something's wrong here. So we already know that it's going to come down to Miles like bing some bells and it like falls off Peter and then finds Eddie Brock or something. Like, that's we know how that's going to go down. But Maybe not. I mean, Insomniac did change up quite a bit in that first Spider-Man game that we were like, "Oh, this is gonna happen," but I don't know. I thought the game looked great. I think the movement looks improved, which is insane to say because it was already so good. But like the gliding mechanic looked awesome, and there was a part where Miles like webbed two posts and then like catapulted himself through the air. That was really cool. There's a lot of impressive stuff in there.
Yeah, one thing I thought was really cool was when you do switch from this pretty much confirms it's not a co-op game. Um, but when you
They,
are in a
they did
mission,
they did say absolutely no co-op.
yeah. And when you go from playing as Peter and then having to go to Miles Morales, right? Because Miles Morales is on a different side of town that you need him to go do something that's, that time is of the essence of. And it's like an immediate transition, right? And
Mhm.
that's that solid state drive going to work, much like Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, right? Going in
You're absolutely
between
right.
the portal.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
That's
and
that's
it
what
worked
Sony was
exactly
always
how
trying. Go ahead.
it I was gonna say it worked exactly how I said I thought it was gonna work, where it's kind of like the GTA 5 approach with the
Yeah,
three characters there, where you
but
kind of
faster,
yeah, but much faster.
much
GTA
faster.
5 is still slow. I haven't played the
Okay.
campaign on the Series X and S, but I'd imagine it's still some sort of loading.
Yeah, of course. Like we should never expect a GTA game. Even when GTA 6 comes out, that thing's gonna load slow. That's what that series is always gonna be. Just give up on that dream. But no, overall, Spider-Man 2 by far had the best showing in the showcase. The only downside was that they didn't give a firm release date, but we know it's still coming out this year. It looks great. It looks beautiful. The voice acting and performances still look great. Like, yeah, this is probably the game I'm looking forward to the most in the second half of this year.
Yeah, as of right now, I'd probably say the same.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, moving on, they revealed Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater remake, and I think that's just called Metal Gear Delta, right?
Yeah, I don't
But then
understand that.
they also announced like a Metal Gear collection.
Yeah, the first 3 games, which includes the original Snake Eater, are gonna be playable. So,
and and
they're just
and
ports.
and, and it includes the Metal Gear X or Metal Gear 1 and 2s. I don't know.
Yeah,
Because
it's 1, 2, and 3.
well no, before it was Metal Gear Solid, there was Metal Gear X and Metal Gear 2, I think. And
Oh,
it's
I didn't
including
know.
both of those.
Okay,
Um
cool,
but yeah, and the Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 are the HD remakes that they did for like the 360 and PS3.
cool.
So, that's
Uh,
interesting.
yeah, the one thing I was wondering about that, so they announced that the remake is coming to Xbox. Did they ever say if the original games are too?
Yeah, I think I believe they are.
Okay. I'm I downloaded, is it Phantom Pain forever ago when like you were talking about, oh, you wanted to play Death Stranding, and
John,
I was like, I
yeah,
want to play
yeah.
Metal Gear, and I just haven't started it. So I'm like, well, now maybe I should just wait until those come out and maybe I'll play them. But
I'm
yeah,
now you have me guessing if the collection Metal Gear Solid 3 remake and classic collection is official and heading to Xbox. So yeah,
okay,
and
cool.
those three games are coming this fall, 2023. So
Yeah,
I played Metal Gear Solid 1 like years and years ago, and I'm sure I talked about it on the podcast, but
mm,
I would like to play those games. I know people
yeah.
love them. I don't know.
So, having never played Snake Eater before in my life, I imagine what the idea here is to kind of do what Capcom's been doing with Resident Evil, where it's a remake that they like add a bunch of new stuff into. That's what I would expect out of this. Anything less than that, and it's Konami fucking you over again. That's really
Yeah.
all I have to say.
Moving on, we did get some hardware reveals. They finally revealed what Project Q is, which we all kind of knew about, which is a hand. It's a Wii U remote for your PS5. But the thing is this thing looks so basic, John. It literally looks like something somebody
It's
photoshopped.
it's just a Switch tablet with the DualShock split in half and put on the side instead of Joy-Con. Like that's all it
Yeah,
is.
Yeah, but it's all built in, so it's like, what happens
Yeah.
if what happens if your
Drift.
circle button is jammed, right? Like,
Mhm.
do you have to send that whole unit in to get repaired? I don't know.
Also
I think it's a stupid, stupid product.
also, it's only a streaming device.
Yeah,
You don't play it natively on there. So, yeah, no, I think that thing is gonna fail hard. I
yeah.
really don't see
Well, no,
any
no, it streams your PS5 Wi-Fi over Wi-Fi.
yeah.
So it's yeah, it's not native in any way in terms of being on the
Yeah,
tablet.
that's
But
what I'm saying, like, what if you have to be in this it's the same thing with the Wii U,
yeah,
exactly,
yeah.
is,
I
like,
agree.
if I why would I have to stay here and play this?
I just wanted to clarify because like the way you had said it almost sounded like you can only like xCloud in a way, right? That
Gotcha,
like
yeah, no,
so I just wanted to verify that. I just want to clarify that it's not like an xCloud streaming device. It's like connecting to your console in your house.
yeah, no,
And
good
there
good
are
clarification,
ways there are ways to remote play away from home. So you don't have to be at home to remote play. But obviously that experience is going to be far worse than if you're sitting in the same room as your play. I don't know. I think
gotcha,
that it's a weird product for them to make at all. I
yeah.
think that they would have been better off partnering with I dude, I don't even know. Like Amazon Fire tablets or something. I have no idea.
Or
Um
maybe just, like, I don't know, keep going with your phone, streaming stuff and, like, partner
Backbone.
with Backbone and, like, get some official,
They
like,
already
voice.
are. They already
It
are
already is?
partnered with
Oh,
Backbone. Yeah, there's
okay,
a PS5 themed Backbone like
okay.
controller. It
Then,
looks
yeah,
just like
this
a
is
PS5 controller, more or less, in terms of the theme.
then I don't understand this announcement at all. I don't think it's a good announcement, and I think,
I think it's
it's
very similar to the PSVR 2, where it's like we're too far into this. We need to release this product.
the VR2 has potential, though. This doesn't. Like,
Yeah,
there's
that's
just
true.
not there's nothing there.
The one thing I will say about the PSVR 2 is like it is like a top of the line VR headset today, right?
Mhm.
Whereas
Yeah,
this streaming thing, this is a dated device, right?
mhm.
Like you said, it's a Wii U controller. So it's like what is going on over there? Like what are they thinking?
Yeah. Yeah, and then they, like, also, combined this with the announcement that they were making earbuds. I'm like, "Who the fuck
I'm here.
cares?"
I care about
Yeah?
earbuds. I think that's kind of cool.
I
Like I'm using
well,
earbuds right now, and so my reason
do
is,
you
John.
do you just not like headsets or
No, no,
something?
I like headsets, but like if I'm gaming for a long time, sometimes depending on the headset, it'll hurt my ear. But my thing too is like for instance, say me and Elise are going out to dinner or we're going out to the bars with friends or something, and say I take a shower, right? And I have like an hour, 2 hours to kill, and I want to wear like my headphones and play Fortnite with the boys or something. My hair is precious, John. The second I put headphones on, ruined, ruins my hair every time without fail. That's like that's why I'm wearing earbuds right now because I just took a shower and I want to wear earbuds so I don't ruin my hair.
As a man who has
Get hair
equally as
plugs,
good
John.
hair.
Get hair plugs, John, and get over it.
Are you gonna are you gonna buy those earbuds, though, if they're, like, $200?
That's the thing. I think that it's heavily dependent on the price of them for me.
Mhm.
Um, I can't imagine they would be more
Well,
than the 3D Pulse headset, right?
I don't know, they've got the case and everything, so, like, maybe that drives up the price. Sony's not shying away from making, like, these expensive accessories now. Like,
How much do you think that tablet thing's gonna be? It's got to be 200, right? If it's an
oh, Project
HD
Q?
screen, yeah,
250, I'd say. I half of PS5.
that's that's kind of mind blowing. And you know what's gonna be funny is when we're talking about this in 3 months, and we're like, how the fuck are they trying to sell that thing for $400? Because
Right.
that is the Sony thing to do
It
in
very
that
much is.
instance. But yeah, moving on. I was honestly impressed to see any hardware there at all. I don't think that that was really expected from this showcase, but hey, they showed
I don't
something.
think it was needed.
Yeah, I don't think so either. The only way I could think that it would be needed is if they were like, "Oh, it's releasing next month, and these are the prices of them." You know what I mean? If it was that
This
far,
could
but
that could have waited for a state of play.
yeah, but those both of those products, they said like, "Oh, you'll hear about these in the coming months." So it's like,
Mm,
you didn't really need to show us that.
no.
Uh, but honestly, maybe they did because, like we've already said, a lot of this stuff is coming to all consoles, not just PlayStation. So they showed Assassin's Creed Mirage. I think that's the first trailer we got for it yet. That's coming out in October.
Yeah.
It looks pretty. I'm excited to try it out.
Yep, it is classic Assassin's Creed. So
We'll see.
if you don't want to play the giant RPGs anymore, you want a more condensed game. I think that's what they're going for with this. Um, yeah, I hope it's good.
Yeah, well, we will see. I lost my play. Oh, here. Alan Wake 2 is coming out in October, and Remedy actually announced that this is going to be a digital only release, so no physical
Yeah,
copy of the game.
that was very interesting. It's $60 on consoles and $50 on the Epic Game Store because Epic.
I, s- I still don't get that.
Well, they're
That's it.
publishing it.
It doesn't matter. There's like most games that come out on Xbox and PS5 and PC. If it's not published by Epic, even on Steam, it'll be like $50 less every time, and
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense to me. When are they going to start charging us
capitalism.
$10 less for buying digital copies of games as opposed to physical?
Man, I've been saying that forever. I mean, a lot of people have been. Um, whatever. It's yeah. Alan Wake 2 looks great though. That looks very interesting. I really enjoyed the first game, so I'm excited to play this. I also did see that they announced that they're like going further in the gameplay for it at Summer Game Fest.
Cool. Yeah, I've never played Alan Wake, so I know nothing about it. Moving on, Bungie announced a new marathon game. So this is that other game that Bungie has been working on. They finally announced it. Marathon is an old PC game that they made before they made Halo.
Not even PC;
Um,
it's a Mac game that they made back in the day.
yeah, well, I mean, you could play it on PC now, but
Yeah,
um, yeah, it is cool to see them bring something that old back. It's kind of like a loot extraction shooter, which is interesting. So it's like kind of got a co-op aspect to it. Um,
I mean,
I don't know. It looks
what did you
interesting.
expect from the Destiny devs, right?
Yeah, it looks interesting art wise. Like I don't think that that's what I would have expected with if they you know if there was just a splash screen that said marathons coming back. I don't think that art style is what I would have expected to see.
Yeah,
So I'm interested to see what they do because I love Bungie and I love Destiny, which is the next thing they revealed. Fuck, I can't remember the name of it. Was it like
last
N Last Stand?
no, not last stand, last shape, something with a shape. I don't
I'm
remember.
looking it up.
You're the
I'm looking it
Destiny
up.
guy.
I'm looking it up. Nope, not Lightfall.
No,
What's the new one? What's the new one?
last something. It's definitely last something.
Destiny
What
2
is it?
last. What the? Why is this so hard to find? Destiny 2.
The
What
final
the
shape,
fuck? The final shape. There you go.
not last.
Um, yeah, they revealed the next big expansion for Destiny 2. Um, and they also revealed that Cade 6 is back. Uh, I'm interested to see where that storyline's going because everybody that I play with, everybody loves Cade 6 just because Nathan Fillion's awesome. Cade 6 is a great character in the game. They killed him and it was devastating. That was like a few years ago. It just, I don't know. I'm very much the kind of person that was like, if you're gonna kill a main character like that,
Leave
don't
them
bring
dead.
them. Yeah, don't bring them back years later, because then every character you kill, I'm gonna assume like, oh well, they'll be back in 6 years
Hmm.
because they want to bring them back.
Not only
Um,
that, but I feel like when companies do that, it completely cheapens that original experience now. So, like, if you go back and look at that Cade 6 death, which even I've seen, and
yeah.
I'm not a Destiny fan, I look at that now, I'm like, oh, well, that didn't matter at all. Like, okay,
Also, we don't know the full extent of it.
obviously,
So, but
could
yeah, we'll
end up just being like an echo of him or something.
yeah, yeah. Who knows? But yeah, super excited for that. New Destiny season just started. I'll talk about that a little later. Other notes. Foam Stars is a game that they revealed. It looked very anime esque, and at first I thought it was going to be like an Overwatch hero shooter, but no, it's basically Splatoon
It's
but with foam.
it's a PlayStation exclusive being made by Square Enix because that's about all Square Enix does anymore. But yeah, I was so I
It looks
didn't.
bad. It looks bad.
It
I'll say
doesn't
it.
look great, that's for sure.
Like and the thing is like the animation at the beginning, I was like, "Oh, this is a cool art style and everything." But then they started showing gameplay and it did not like it looked like it ran really poorly. For a
Yeah,
PS5 game, like it looked bad.
you can tell that they're definitely like, okay, we have to go with this Splatoon idea, but we can't use paint because Nintendo already used that. Let's use foam. But now that they're
I
using foam, it takes up so much room on the screen now, and I'm just like,
yeah.
that doesn't look good,
Yeah, like can I go through the foam? Like how does that work? I don't know.
right?
Also, I'm wondering if Nintendo's going to try and like sue them or something over this because like it's such a weird niche like game to make. I don't know. I never thought I'd see a Splatoon clone from a major publisher anytime soon.
Right?
So that's pretty funny. Fair Games or Fair Game. That's that game we talked about that they opened with,
The
right? That
the heist game, yeah,
looks like Payday and Watch Dogs had a baby.
yeah.
Yeah, we kind of already talked about that, so we can
Didn't
just
do much for me. Yeah.
keep moving. The Plucky Squire. I don't know what that was.
This was
I
the
must have
game that
tuned
had
this out.
this was like it so it started out as a 2D game with a guy like running
Oh
around
yeah,
on a
yeah,
book
yeah.
and then he jumps out of the book and it's 3D. And I thought that was a very neat idea. This was there were quite a few indie games in this showcase. None of them really caught my eye, but this one did.
Yeah, it's a really cool idea and technologically looks awesome
Yeah.
the way that they pulled it off. Yeah, moving on. Phantom Blade Zero appears to be a Souls-like, but with interesting combat. Is that the like samurai looking game?
Yeah, they showed it early and it went long. That was a long look at that game and it was just like the main character slashing up fools like constantly, but it looked good. It also looked like a Souls-like game, so I have no interest in playing it, honestly.
Yeah. The next topic you have is there any reason to buy a PSVR 2 for this year?
Yeah,
Honestly,
so
I'm gonna say no. Like they showed like 5 or 6 PSVR 2 games.
yeah.
One of them being Beat Saber finally coming to the game to PSVR 2. The good thing is that PSVR 2's Beat Saber, if you bought it on PSVR 1, you get it for free on
Okay, that's good.
PSVR 2.
That
Which
they
is
very easily could have been like, no, we'll give you
yeah.
a discount.
And I think that's what was expected based on what we've seen with every other game or most other games I should say. Um but yeah, like the
Oh,
PSVR 2 games they showed that none of them really like look like must buys in terms
so
of
real quick, going to Beat Saber, I didn't realize it actually launched yesterday on PSVR
yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah, it came out yesterday as well.
Okay, that's
Along with the Queen DLC came out yesterday
yeah.
along with it. But yeah, PSVR 2, they did announce like last week that um, they've sold more PSVR 2s in this launch time frame than they did PSVR 1s in its time frame, which is very surprising.
I also feel like that's gonna drop off hard,
Well, yeah,
especially.
I agree. I think the only reason we're hearing about it is because it's good news for them, right?
Yeah,
Like I
yeah.
think that we're gonna hear less and less about PSVR 2 sales in the
I
future.
think so. I might be. You might remember this better than me because you had a PSVR one, but I feel like the VR one started out rough and then it kind of gained some momentum later on as
Yeah,
as more goodwill and good word of mouth came out about it. It's kind of the opposite with the VR2, I think, where people are like, yeah, this is very impressive from a technology standpoint, but it's
there's no
expensive,
games.
no games, like it's not the good stuff that's coming out right now. But yeah,
To be
they had beat
fair, also like Beat Saber wasn't out at launch for PSVR 1 either.
yeah.
So like there were growing pains with the PSVR 1 just because that was when VR was just becoming like a mainstream device for gaming. And I think that's why sales for PSVR 1 started probably pretty slow, because they probably had no idea how it was gonna sell, and people just didn't people weren't in the market for a VR headset back then as much as they are today, right? And
Mhm.
so once they realized that, oh, I can just plug this headset into my PlayStation and play all these games that are out already, which is probably a year after it launched, I'd assume. Then that's probably when the sales really took off.
The thing the VR one had for it too was that it was distinctly cheaper than those other VR options. Now with the VR two, that I want to say it's closer to those
It,
price ranges of like
I
the
mean, it
Oculus and all that.
the the PSVR 2 costs more than an Oculus Quest 2.
Okay, then yeah. So that's why would you choose that unless there are PSVR two exclusive games that you want, you're not gonna go for that.
Yeah, I and part of the issue too is like I get what they did with the PSVR 2, like they made it a top of the line headset because they had to future proof for VR, right? They couldn't just release, a really bad headset to bring price down because I don't think it would sell well, either way, right? Like to lower the price, they would have had to sell like a headset that's far worse, and probably the tracking is worse and the screen is worse, and I feel like that would have looked really bad on them. Probably a lot worse than, selling a really nice headset that's expensive.
Maybe, but yeah, I Resident Evil 4 is coming to it later on, and I was like, okay, we all knew that that would happen eventually. It always happens with Resident Evil
No,
anymore.
they had already announced that before.
Okay, then
It just this
we
is the first time they like showed anything of it.
gameplay. Gotcha. Yeah, I was like, okay, yeah, that looks like Resident Evil in VR. And then they showed like a couple other games, and I was just like, I have no interest in these at all.
Yeah. I'm excited to play more Beat Saber. I got to go pick up my PS5 from my buddy's apartment. I might actually do that tonight because I want to play Beat Saber. Check it
Nice.
out. Yeah. Moving on, there were a lot of games, but not many release dates, which John had already mentioned, which is surprising. Um, yeah, I
That,
like the fact
that
that we didn't get a Spider-Man 2 release date is still just like blowing my mind because they keep saying it's coming out this year, and now it's like, is it actually going to come out this year?
right.
Because you're leaving it open-ended.
This showcase overall was so much like an Xbox showcase, right? There were so many games, and they're not going to be for everyone, but you're going to probably find at least something in there that you like. But we're also not going to give you a firm release date on any of this stuff because we don't know what's going. It was very similar to an Xbox showcase.
Yeah, I'm real excited for the Xbox showcase because I've never gone into a showcase without really knowing what the fuck they're going to show as much as this one, right? Cuz like Xbox is in a bad place, and we've been saying it for a while.
Yeah.
And I don't know, they need to step their game up in some way, and I just don't see how they can. So I'm just excited to watch, like, good or bad, like, what the fuck, like, what do they have to show us, right? And that's what's
Mhm.
intriguing to me. It's like, what does Xbox have to show us? Because right now it seems like they have nothing, and I like, is it just gonna be like a bunch of these same games?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is like after this showcase, I'm feeling the same way about Sony right now with PlayStation. It's like, yeah, we have for Xbox, it's okay, we have Starfield. What else? For Sony right now, it's we have Spider-Man. What else? Like it
Yeah,
these they're very they're a lot more similar than people want to give them credit for at the moment.
yeah. I mean,
I
Sony is
mean,
still
Nintendo
like
specifically too.
I mean, Sony's still ahead of the game just because they have like a lot of recent big hit releases, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, we
Yeah.
might not know what's next at the moment, but like, still,
But
what's in the past is way more significant than anything Xbox has done recently.
you're right. I was just talking about going forward. The
Yeah, yeah.
future outlook is very similar.
Yeah, that's gonna do it for us talking about the PlayStation State of Play. Up next, we're gonna talk about the Prince of Persia remake because apparently it has completely restarted development, but is still
Yeah.
coming. This is the
Yeah.
one that they took pre-orders for and then pulled it from all stores, right?
Yes. Yeah, so they announced it in 2020, I wanna say, and they, like, showed off a trailer for it, and everyone hated the graphics. They hated the art style for it. I didn't mind it, but everyone hated it. So they're like, okay, we're gonna go back and we're gonna delay it and we're gonna work on it to make it better. And then like a year went by and we didn't hear anything. And then another year went by and then they canceled pre-orders and they just never said anything about it. And then this week they just randomly put out a FAQ on it. They're like, oh yeah, so we're starting over on the game. We're in the concept phase right now. We're in the process of hiring people to get started on this. And I'm just like, just
What?
cancel it at that
Yeah,
point.
for
Like,
real. Like what'd you do with all the other people that were working on it?
right? Yeah. So they announced, I think there was at least a rumor a while ago that they were changing developers, and that happened, and then this restarted. So it's just like this is a messed up development cycle for this game. I know that a lot of people love Sands of Time. It's not one that I've personally played. I'm excited to play it whenever this comes out, but like I don't know if all this is worth it, honestly.
I don't know. I've never played Prince of Persia game, so I honestly this phases me in no way because if it comes out, I probably won't even play it. So
Yeah.
that's just me. John, take us through the quick news.
The
News.
This is the quickest of news because I only have a few things. Um, Embracer Group announced that they were about to announce a major acquisition until the mystery company backed out. So they didn't say who it was because that'd be bad business and everything. But crap, did I? Ah, damn it, I did. I had the tab pulled up for like their quote, but they were like expecting to make like $2 billion over 6 years from this acquisition, and I was like, what? What the hell was that? So no idea what it was, what it could have been, but they were really trying for something there.
What's your
Uh,
worst guess? What's your worst guess of what it was? Not your best guess. Worst guess.
my worst guess, Ubisoft. Um,
I was gonna say like Sega. No, no, they were gonna
Sega.
acquire Atari. They were expecting to make
Oh, that
or $2 billion over 6 years from Atari.
that is a good bad guess. I like that.
Those speaker hats are really selling.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings Gollum is getting bad review scores, currently sitting at a 40 on Metacritic. Joel, you were looking up some
I
videos on it
so
before we started.
Yeah, I saw kind of funny posted a video of Roger talking about it, and man, it sounds like my worst nightmare. Right? It just sounds like just constant talking. It looks graphically what I saw, it didn't look terrible graphically, but it's just like the art style's weird with Gollum. I don't know. It Why is this game made? I remember when this game was like revealed at an E3 or something and people were so excited about it. I'm like, you guys are really that thirsty for Lord of the Rings content that
Yes,
you got
I
you
am.
got you got excited about a game about fucking Gollum?
I mean, I'm always ready for Lord of the Rings content, but yeah, no, I'm. Uh, Gollum was a game that I looked at where I was like, okay, it's Lord of the Rings, so I'm going to play it, and then it just kept getting delayed. I feel like this game was like announced before the pandemic, right? It's been on the way for a long time. I feel. I
I
don't
have
know.
no idea.
So I've got some of the reviews pulled up on Metacritic here. Um, And yeah, they're not looking great. So Push Square gave it a 2 out of 10. They said Lord of the Rings Gollum is a broken mess of a game. There are barely any redeeming qualities to be found amidst what can only be described as a massive missed opportunity. There was another one. Eurogamer says Gollum is probably the worst game set in this famous world, repulsive and unstable like the main character himself. So yeah, people aren't liking it. That's for sure. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. Next up, a Las Vegas neighborhood is naming streets after Pokemon.
John, I just looked this up because I just read it. That's
Uh,
My mom lives in that neighborhood. My
oh
parents
yeah,
live there. Yeah, that town,
uh,
Henderson, Nevada.
gotcha. Yeah, so apparently, I only skimmed the article, but apparently they're like setting up these new roads, and they can't think of any original names, so they just like started naming them like Snorlax Lane and
Squirtle Lane.
Squirtle Lane, and yeah,
It's
so
awesome.
that's fun. That Yeah, that is awesome. Last up on quick news, Nintendo is facing a lawsuit over Mario Kart Tour loot boxes, even though they were taken out of the game last September. As reported by this is from IGN, by the way. As reported by Axios, the plaintiff is a young gamer who spent more than $170 on Mario Kart Tour microtransactions using their father's credit card. The lawsuit alleges that the loot boxes capitalized on and encouraged addictive behaviors akin to gambling. So yeah, just typical loot box lawsuit, but
That game's
now
still going, huh?
yeah, it's still going. They took out the loot boxes last year, and I don't know if it's any better now, but I never liked it because I didn't like the way it like plays itself, and I wasn't a big fan of that.
Weird.
Hmm.
Yeah, well, that's gonna do it for all of our news and quick news. I haven't played too much the past week. The new Destiny 2 season started Tuesday, 2 days ago, and I actually hopped on yesterday with Josh from the Out of Mana podcast. Is that what he's from?
Hmm.
His
Yeah.
podcast? Yeah. He was streaming yesterday, and I hit him up. I was like, "Yo, let's squad up." So we played for a few hours, and that was fun. We were just doing some of the new seasonal content. I might play more of that tonight, just because I want to finish the weekly stuff. But yeah, it's a new season, nothing crazy. They have you go in this like underwater zone, which is the first time you go underwater in Destiny, as far as I know. And you got to go through like these air bubbles to get catch your breath and stuff, which is weird. I thought because you're in a spacesuit. Um, so yeah, that's something you do. Apparently, there's some sort of fishing. I don't know what this entails. I haven't gotten that far yet, but I
All
know
right.
I have like a quest for catching fish in some way and depositing fish. I'm not 100% sure, but I will be sure to report back next week. But yeah, there's a new season. They have new ornaments. So I know you briefly played Destiny, John. Ornaments are just way to make your armor look different, and there are 3 different sets of ornaments with this season as of right now. And for a Titan, you can buy one that makes you look like it's like loosely based off Kratos from God of
Hmm.
War. There's, I think the Hunter is Aloy, like Aloy themed armor, and
That checks out.
then the Warlock is Ghost of Tsushima themed armor. So it's really cool to see that they're kind of theming stuff after PlayStation titles now that they have been acquired by PlayStation. So yeah, I'll probably be buying that God of War one just because I'm a Titan and it looks cool.
Nice.
But yeah, that's
And
really all I've been playing. I haven't had time to play Tears of the Kingdom.
hmm.
I want to. It just I don't know. Haven't had time to sit down and really play it.
Oh man, that is all I've been playing still.
Oh, I
I played.
know.
Yeah, it's a lot. Um, I've completed the first 4 dungeons, so I have all of the sages as my companions right now. And if there's one area about this game that I think is a step back from Breath of the Wild, it's the powers you get. So in Breath of the Wild, you had Rivali's Gale that like launched you into the air. You had the shield. You had Mifa reviving you, and you had Urbosa's lightning strike thing. In this game, they're not as good because you have to have them activated, and there's like these shadow characters that follow you, and they just get in the way all the time. So to activate their power, you have to be standing next to them and press A, which is also like the button for like picking up things. If you do that with Tulin, the bird guy, he like makes a gust that will knock enemies over or will propel you through the air if you're gliding. But it also like knocks away like loose items. So many people have like posted videos of them like trying to pick up stuff because it's A to pick up stuff, and then Tulin gets too close and he just launches it off a sky island and you lose all your stuff. So yeah, at this point, that's the one area of the game that I'm like, okay, this is a step backwards. But man, everywhere else in this game is just so damn good. Just the tools they give you. Like I was really worried about like having to build vehicles and all these different things. There are tons of videos online of people making such amazing things. I don't have the mind for that. I am terrible at building things.
Yeah,
I
you should at least like find like TikTok tutorials on how to build certain things just to check them out.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, 100%. There's great TikToks out there for it. I've seen amazing things, and I'm like, yeah, I want to try that. And then I started, and I'm like, "Ugh, I'm bored. I don't want to. I don't like building things. But yeah, I love it's Breath of the Wild too, man. Like, what do you want me to say? Like, everyone has their own adventure in this game. Everyone's going about it their own way, and that's amazing. I love hearing the discussions about this just amazing game. I love The Legend of Zelda. I think the story here is great. It's heartbreaking. It's really good. Yeah, there's a lot of things here that I'm just like, yeah, this it Breath of the Wild was a 10 out of 10 game for me. One of my favorite games ever. This game I think is better in almost every single way. Like how did Nintendo fucking pull that off? That's amazing to me.
you think this is the last Zelda game in this like saga, I guess you could say? Or do you think they try and
Um
stretch it into a trilogy?
I haven't beaten the story yet because I am doing certain I'm doing shrines and stuff. I'm doing a lot of side content at the moment. I if I had
I
to
mean,
guess,
I mean, I mean, story aside, right? Like, ignore the story completely, just
like,
because,
are they
like,
gonna have another big open world like this?
yeah, like, did you think that they just, I don't know, in some way reuse? I don't want to say reuse because, like, a lot of this game is new, but like reuse the same Hyrule in some different way. I mean, we're already going
Oh
to the sky and down into the caves, right? So it's like, where else could they go in this to make it different?
no, I think the next one will be a new Hyrule. I think it will be a new Link and Zelda. Um, I don't. I can't think of a time where they ever did a trilogy. I mean, I guess they kind of did with Wind Waker to the DS, but those don't really. That's not really right.
It's not the same.
No. Um, yeah, so I think it will be a new one next time. Um, but yeah, we'll see what they do. I'm just blown away at almost every single corner of this game. It's so good.
Yeah, that's pretty much in line with everything I've been hearing.
Mhm.
Um, Something else I have been playing is I started working out with Ring Fit again last week, and
Nice.
I've played like I don't know since like last Monday. I've probably played it like 10 times, and that game's like it's fun for being a workout game. Like I enjoy the levels that you go through, and there are a lot of fucking levels because
Mhm.
I'm level so I'm on world 12 now. I don't know how many worlds there are. Um, but I'm already at level like 91, I think, which is pretty high, I thought. I don't even know if there's a max to the amount of levels you can get. But yeah, that game's fun. It's a great workout. Um, yeah, has me feeling good. I'm feeling very good after playing it. So I've
Nice.
been having fun playing that. It's a great workout game, and I know you can find it on sale now from time to time. So if you're looking for something that's fun to work out with, uh, check that out because I know like during COVID you couldn't find that game anywhere.
No,
I
it's sold out like crazy.
Yeah, I remember I was like contemplating like buying one off of like eBay for like twice the amount that it sold for, but now you can find it for like $50
Yeah. I
with
was very
with the ring and everything.
that was one case where I was very happy that I bought it on launch day. Yeah, no, I'm right
I,
there with
I I I remember you buying it on launch day, and I
you.
remember
Mhm.
when they announced it, I was like, I don't want like why do I want I don't want that.
Yeah,
And little old me, I of course I bought it during COVID when everybody's like, you couldn't go to the gym, you weren't supposed to leave your house, and they finally became available at one point, and I bought one, and I'm glad I did because I really enjoy playing it and working out with it. I think
yeah,
it's a great activity to do if you're looking to
yep,
get off your couch.
for sure. All right, do you want to play a quick game?
Let's do it.
All right, so I got another press release this week of here. Let me actually read the thing. The world's most popular characters to cosplay. So this is a top 10. Uh, there are. I'm just gonna tell you right off the bat. There are not many video game characters here. Um,
If
just
there's a
one.
lot of anime, I'm not gonna know like any of them.
There is two anime characters in the top 10. So
Okay, these are the worst characters to cosplay as?
Most popular characters. Like
Oh, most popular. Okay.
yes,
All right. Most popular. I'm going to say Sailor Moon.
no Sailor
No
Moon.
Sailor Moon. What's another popular? Like fucking Goku? Some Dragon Ball Z?
Nope.
Naruto. That's got to be it.
Nope.
Nothing from Naruto. I always see
No.
people wearing the fucking band or whatever, and it's
Yeah.
not
No.
Naruto.
Not Naruto.
Oh man, what are other popular? I'm trying to think of like what I've seen at
So
conventions.
for the two anime characters, I'll tell you they're from the same series. Do you want the series?
Sure.
My Hero Academia.
I don't know their name. Like
Okay.
Yuki? Is Yuki one?
No, I'll just tell you them. So number 5 is Deku, and number 9 is
Deku.
Todoroki. And both of those really surprised me, in all honesty. Like I know My Hero Academia is popular. I don't
But it's
ever think.
newer, right? I'm
Yeah.
surprised. I'm surprised it's not like that's why I guess Sailor Moon because it's so old and everybody knows what it is.
All right. I'm gonna just so we can speed this up. I'll tell you the rest of the top 10. There is one video game character and one, two, three, four, five, six, seven superhero characters.
Superman.
No,
No? All right,
no,
Batman. Batman.
no. Oh wait, nope, nope. Batman's number 3. You're right. Batman
Okay.
3.
The Joker?
He's number 4.
So that's 2 out of the hold on. That's 4 total out of the 10, including the anime guys.
Yes,
Okay. Harley Quinn.
that is number 1 by a well, not by a significant margin. Number 1 and number 2 just completely dwarf the rest of them.
John, you would be surprised at a convention how many chicks dress as Harley Quinn. It's kind of mind-blowing. Like there's a
Yeah,
lot. All
gotcha.
right. Are there any more from the Batman series?
No.
You hesitated.
There's one Justice League character. That's why I hesitated.
All right. So
Oh,
I'm at
one more Batman villain. Sorry.
Catwoman.
Nope.
Oh, villain. Ugh, we already
This
said
one
the
surprises
Joker.
me. I would think
Is it the
Catwoman would be
Penguin?
no.
Huh. Bane. It's got to be Bane. No?
Nope.
Dang. What other
Women.
Batman villains are there? The
Woman.
Riddler.
Woman.
The fucking Ivy, Poison Ivy.
Yeah. Poison Ivy is number 10. I would think for sure that Catwoman would beat her, but I guess the Harley Quinn show really made Poison Ivy a lot more popular again.
All right, I'm at 6 out of 10. And how many more supervillain or is Iron Man on there?
No.
Huh. No Iron Man.
2 Marvel characters, 1 DC.
Captain America.
No.
No.
No. This one I think you should get pretty easily. Because I even see like a bunch of cosplays of him everywhere.
Hmm. Hold on. Are you referring to the Marvel one? Sorry.
Yes.
Okay. Cosplays everywhere. It's a Marvel character. It's not Captain America. It's not Iron Man. Is it a man or a woman?
Man.
Who?
You're
I'm
really
drawing.
blanking on this one.
I am really blanking on Spider Man.
Um,
It's
there
got
you
to be
go.
Spider Man. Yeah.
Yeah. Spider-Man is number 2. So the way that they found this out was like a number of hashtags on Twitter of like the most talked about like cosplays. Harley Quinn and Spider-Man are both over 700,000. Batman is number 3 at over 300,000. It's ridiculous the
The jump.
change there. Yeah. So you need number 6,
All
number
right. So
7, and number 8.
number 7
One,
and 8.
6, 7, 8. One DC, one video game, one Marvel character.
DC. Is it a woman again? And it's not Catwoman.
No.
Huh. DC Woman, Wonder Woman,
Yep, Wonder Woman.
and then one Marvel and one video game.
Yep,
Is the Marvel one a man or a woman?
man.
Man. I'm trying to think. Thor?
No.
Dude, I don't know. Give me a hint. Give me a hint.
Oh,
Without ruining without ruining it.
he's got a connection to Spider-Man in the comics.
Is it Doctor Strange?
No. I specifically said in the comics.
I don't really read comics or know
Gotcha.
anything about them.
Um, I could tell you he's one of my favorite heroes, but I don't think that helps you. He's got 2 movies. A
Two
third is on the way.
movies. No, Ant-Man has 3 movies, right?
Yep.
Already. A third is on the way, dude. I'm so out of touch with Marvel movies right now because like they're just generally not that great at the moment.
Also very close to Wolverine.
Oh, Deadpool.
Yeah, Deadpool.
That makes sense. And then a
Yep.
video game. You got to give me a genre or something for the video game one. It's so broad.
One of my favorite video games. Talk about it all the time.
Pokemon, Peak Ash
No,
Ketchum.
no. One of my
Damn.
favorite. I talk about it like almost every week on here.
Oh, you mean Link?
Yeah. No. Overwatch.
Oh, is it like Tracer,
No. Your
Roadhog,
man. Your man.
Diva?
Diva. Yeah. So from number 1 to number 10, the most popular characters that are cosplayed at conventions and just in general: Harley Quinn, Spider Man, Batman, Joker, Deku, Wonder Woman, Diva, Deadpool, Todoroki, and Poison Ivy.
That's a list.
That is definitely a list. Thank you to Heartsland, I guess. They're the ones that researched that.
Somebody had to do it.
Mm-hmm. Wasn't gonna be me.
All right. Well, that is going to wrap up this week's episode of the Pixel Street podcast. As always, check us out on Twitter at Pixel Street, where you can find our pinned tweet there to find us on all of our social media platforms, including a link to our Discord server where you can join us, show us your cosplays. If you've cosplayed, send us pics. We want to see, or just tell us about it. Yeah, you can also subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/Pixel Street Videos, where we post unboxings, let's plays. We stream all of our podcasts live over there, like we are doing right now. So yeah, we'd love to have you over there as well. You can find me on Twitter at Campo63 or twitch.tv/Campo63. John, where are you at on the internet?
On Twitter, I am at RevXShadows, and you can find my writing on GameSandwich.com.
Cool. We will be right back here next week with episode 232 of the Pixel Street podcast.
Bye.